Let's do this. Welcome, guys. Look at Bitcoin today, still holding right around 44,000 right now. Bitcoin is holding very strong. Obviously, no one really wants to sell Bitcoin ahead of a spot ETF approval. But I did notice alts bled out. A lot of the crypto projects have bled out. And I have a theory about that, why that's happening. If you look at Bitcoin dominance right here, and I wish I could make this bigger, but you can't make it bigger. It's hard to see, but the blue part, okay, the blue part is Bitcoin dominance. And then you have ETH dominance, and then you have everything else dominance. But the important part is the blue. And you'll notice back in the day, Bitcoin dominance was in the 90s and 80s, okay? Bitcoin dominated everything, as it should have, because there was really, everything was just copycats. There was nothing going on in this space, right? And then, in 2017, that's when you saw Ethereum dominance come up because it's the very first programmable chain out there. And yeah, right now, ETH still has a decent dominance. But you'll notice that Bitcoin dominance has been gaining strength. You can see over here, Bitcoin dominance fell to as low as 37%. Back in November, and then it started going up and up and up and up and up, and now it's at 52%, even though it's like at 50% just a few days ago, right? So why is this happening? Well, I mean, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear because a lot of people are selling off their alts in anticipation that Bitcoin is going to pump to the moon, especially ahead of SPY ETFs. Let's not forget, not just SPY ETFs. The halving event is right around the corner too. Halving event is 3 months away. So this is why I've always said it's important to hold some Bitcoin in your portfolio. There are too many people that hold nothing but alts, 100% on alts, and not only even the big ones, a lot of the micro ones. You need to hold Bitcoin in your portfolio. Bitcoin, 50% in your portfolio will give you that stability. It'll give you that strength. Like right now, Bitcoin's not moving. Everything else is going down. And also, it gives you that growth. When Bitcoin goes up, everything else actually drains out. We have seen that time and time and time again, where Bitcoin dominance just gains and really sucks out liquidity from everything else. So that's basically what's been happening. I feel like a lot of whales, they're like, well, spot ETFs around the corner. We better get that cash ready for Bitcoin, because when we get approval, Bitcoin's going to skyrocket. That's exactly what's happening right now. And after we get approval, we could see just Bitcoin fly upwards, skyrocket, and alts may be taking a breather for a little bit. Besides all the ETF stuff, what about just some fundamentals? Well, this is the biggest one. Balance on exchanges, the percent keeps going down, right? Just down, down, down. And periodically, you see big dips down. What drives Bitcoin or any of these cryptos price upwards? Demand has to go up, supply has to go down. And that's what we're seeing. Bitcoin's supply keeps going down with every halving event. That's also coming this year within a couple of months. It cuts the inflation in half. For the first time in history, Bitcoin will be less inflationary than gold. And it's better than gold because it has a set supply. You can't infinitely mine it like gold. You can't find gold. You can't find Bitcoin in space like you can with gold. So, and we know because of all that's happening right now and what's going to happen in the future, demand is going to keep on going up. So demand keeps going up like this and supply keeps going down. So what do you think is going to happen to the price? Why do you think Michael Saylor is so bullish? Why do you think he holds billions and billions of Bitcoin? Because he knows the end game. He could see it. The end game is there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around, not enough sats to go around. And the name of the game is to accumulate as much as possible right now before that happens. Because once the whole world embraces Bitcoin, it's too late then. Bitcoin will be at 1 million, 2 million, 5 million each. Let's go make Saylor the richest man in the world someday. Even though we had that little scare. We had Bitcoin sell off, but like I said, we're recovering upwards and we're in bull market territory. Okay, Brian Kelly from CNBC No, he's not from CNBC, but he goes on CNBC a lot. Okay, Brian Kelly has been one of the bigger crypto bulls since 2017. Some of you guys may remember at the peak of 2017, he went on air and told everyone to buy XRP, and that's when XRP hit like almost $4. And for a brief period of time, XRP actually surpassed Bitcoin's market cap during that run. But you know, he calmed down since then. But let me play this for you guys, because he pretty much answers, or he squashes this notion of buy the rumor, sell the news when it comes to spot ETFs.
All right. So why shouldn't we believe that the Bitcoin ETF approval isn't a sell the news event? It seems like there's so much riding on this approval. There's so much of the rally predicated on that when it happens, what next?
Yeah, right. I mean, listen, as a trader, my gut always tells me things go higher, I get a little bit scared, right? So I do think a lot of the speculative fever around the ETF is probably reaching a crescendo this week. So, yeah, could we get a sell-off? Sure. But I think that would be a sell-off, a dip to buy. Because remember, there are still a lot of people that have not been able to buy Bitcoin for their portfolio. So even a 1 to 2 to even 5% allocation in IRAs or from private wealth managers, they're going to be buying the ETF over the year. And since you have Tim on the desk, it'll serve as a four-on-the-floor drumbeat for the rest of the year.
So basically, that's it. Like I said, if we have a sell-off, which we did yesterday, and kind of reset things, okay, it's a buying opportunity. But you can't predict how much money will be flowing into the space. That's exactly what Brian said. All these fund managers that before couldn't get exposure to Bitcoin, now they can by buying spot ETFs. They will continue to do so for the remainder of this year and next year. And you can't predict that. You can't price that in yet. Because we could have billions to trillions flow in. That's why it's so significant, right? So that is still around the corner. That has not been taken off the table. Okay, so we still have a January 10th deadline, even if we don't get approval. Well, the next deadline is a few months away in March, right before the halving event. Then you have back-to-back catalysts to drive Bitcoin to a new high. Okay, so it's really that simple. Bitcoin will continue to do its thing. Bitcoin will continue to make millionaires. In fact, there's 90,000 Bitcoin millionaires now, a 300% jump from 15 years ago. Well, obviously from 15 years ago. But still, more and more people are turning to Bitcoin because they understand that it's the one thing that you want to put your money in and just hodl and DCA forever, basically.